My name is Paul Rosolie. I'm the author of The Girl and the Tiger. I'm a wildlife conservationist and I specialize in the Peruvian Amazon and in India. So anacondas, tigers and elephants, and everything wild. This is a book that it was a 10-year journey. This was for me, I wanted to delve into what I thought was the most incredible story unfolding on planet Earth right now. Tigers have been so depleted in their numbers, and elephants and all the other Indian wildlife. And when you see how wild tigers are migrating in the modern world, it's just incredible that these things are surviving. And so this book is a way to take people inside the life of a modern day tiger and sort of revisit the whole Jungle Book world that was brought to us 120 years ago and see how that's changed in the time since. I think that we so often are lost in, our politics and relationships and all this human stuff. We forget that we're not the only creatures on this planet. And for me, this book is going with a really exciting female character who's the lead and is based on a real life character, and following migrating tigers through India as they try to survive and all of the things that they come into contact with. And so much of this story comes from the real life experiences that I've had in India on the ground, almost getting killed by elephants. I've bled for this book. I had tiger tooth scraping across my bone. I came within inches of being killed by a wild elephant. And I truly feel that this is the story that the animals would want me to tell if they could have a voice. And so I really hope that people can help this book get out there so we can tell the story of these animals and try and get them some more habitat. One of the craziest things that set off the story of this book. In this book, we follow the hero. Isha is this girl who lives in Bangalore, but she's sent away from school because she doesn't really like school. She's more of a wild child. And she discovers orphan tiger cubs living in her parents' village that she realizes are going to be killed unless she does something about it. And that's true. That actually happened, and I actually received a message from her where she was going, "You're the jungle man. You have to help me protect these tigers." But what people don't realize is how incredibly complex these animals are. Once you take a baby tiger away from its parents, it's impossible to teach it all the things that its mother would teach it. And actually, people tell me sometimes, they say, well, there's tigers in zoos and there's tigers in captive facilities, so we're doing conservation. Unlike a deer and unlike so many other animals, tigers are so intelligent and they have such a complex relationship with their parents that you can never return a tiger to the wild once it's been orphaned. So really exploring that and how wild these animals are and how we as people relate to wild animals that are just about gone is what I wanted to do with this book. I've always been an animal nut. When I was 3 years old, I was running after snakes, and then at 7 years old, I was trying to track foxes. And as soon as I was old enough, I got out into the world and started working in rainforest conservation and trying to protect the biggest, most beautiful animals we have, because at this point in the world, we're losing ecosystems so fast that some of the most incredible wildlife that we depend on is at risk of vanishing. And if we don't protect them, it's going to be too late to do it.
Everything behind me right now is the forest that I've been working to protect for the last 13 years. It's burning like this every day. There are literally millions of animals in this forest that cannot escape right now. And if you think our planet can survive this every day in the Amazon, you have another thing coming. We have all the resources to protect this, to stop what's happening behind me right now, and people let it happen every day.
The Amazon fires, I've been working in the Amazon for the last 13 years. The organization I work with is called Jungle Keepers, and we protect 30,000 acres of primary Amazon rainforest. That means ancient forest that's never been cut. And it's filled with more plants and animals than anywhere else on the planet. So this is really important habitat. And as the Amazon fires burn, each year we see this happening. What happened this year was that the fires blew over Sao Paulo, and people started uploading the photos to the internet. It hit the news, and it got really big. But the thing is, this is an ongoing problem. And really, the only way to put out these fires is to keep the rainforest standing, to keep that ancient, complex rainforest intact so that it can produce all that clouds and moisture that's going to rain back down on the Amazon. That's how you put out the Amazon fires. There's really no other realistic option. It's just protect the forests. What's causing the Amazon fires is deregulation of environmental policy. Brazil's new president has recently opened the gates to the Amazon, and he's letting people go in, and this is slash and burn agriculture. And so the other thing that I've been trying to explain to people is that first of all, you can't go down and put out 70,000 fires across the entire Amazon basin. And the other thing is that these are not wild fires that need to be put out. These are intentionally set fires by local farmers who are trying to burn the Amazon so they can farm beef and soy. So it's really important that people understand what's happening down there in the field before we can fix the problem. And the only way to do that is to protect the old growth forest. In conservation, we say that the victories are temporary and it's the losses that are final, because this is ancient forest. This is thousands and thousands of years to come together to create those ecosystems. And once you lose that, it's never again in our lifetime going to reach that level of health, that level of complexity. So really what we lose, we cannot replace. We can plant some trees and it could help, but we're never going to get back to what it was. These are treasures on earth, and that's why we say, those of us who see it burn every year, we say it's like watching Notre Dame burn every day. Oh, the Amazon fires are releasing so much stored carbon into the atmosphere. They're also going to test the resilience of the Amazon to continue being this force for global climate protection and weather regulation and fresh water production. And the thing is, we're seeing this all over the world. Right now, Indonesia is burning. Just like in the book, the forests in India are vanishing all across Africa. We're losing parts of the Congo. This is the issue of our time. Can we protect the forests that keep us alive? Can we protect the oceans that keep us alive? Or are we going to let it get to the point where it's too late to bring it back? That, I truly believe, is the defining issue for everyone that's alive right now. Like everything else, you know, it flared up. Everybody got really excited. Everybody did a post about it on Facebook. And then this week, it's back to what I ate for lunch and the French fries I got. Where we have really quick attention spans, and that's sort of indicative of the entire problem that we're facing, because we keep forgetting that this is happening every year. We keep forgetting that we keep making things worse. And if we could just hold those things and keep them in our focus, and then the next time an election rolls around, make sure that the people that we're electing have good environmental policy. The next time you go to the store, make sure that you're not buying products that are deforesting rainforest. I mean, there's so many ways that in your local community and through what you do with your wallet and who you vote for, that we can actually create change. It's just that we have to continually keep this stuff in the focus of everybody. I think that young people, I mean, if you're 15 years old now, by the time you're 60, I mean, you're going to be dealing with all of these things. And this, you know, it's not fair that these older people are stealing from you. And so for me, my job is usually to advocate for the animals, whether it's in the Amazon, you know, again, with the Amazon fires, we always talk about, is this good for politics? Is it good for the economy? What's going to happen for climate change? But we very rarely talk about the fact that we're not the only species on this planet. And so for me, I really want to try and give voice to animals. But I mean, young people, this planet's in your hands. This is your fight. So you better make your voices be heard, because we're getting close to that point where it's going to be too late to pull it back. The Girl and the Tiger is out. You can buy it in Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Go to your local booksellers and ask them to order it, because it's always good to support local booksellers. I really think it's a very important story. I think that it's very exciting that it has a female hero. It's sort of like a modern day answer to the Jungle Book. We've had just an astounding amount of success with it so far, and people reading the book all over the world. It's exciting. Help us get it out there and help us be a voice for animals.